Suspension and injuries hit hard in round 21. Nat Fyfe again attracted unwanted attention from the match review panel. Jonathan Patton suffered a second long-term knee injury, while some of the big Brownlow fancies were also sidelined. A hamstrung Josh Kennedy was subbed out, while Scott Pendlebury and Dane Beams joined a growing Pies casualty list, as the Lions ran riot at the G. The Dockers beat the Hawks, and Jobe Watson returned to lead the Bombers to a come-from-behind win. A 7th straight win for the Tigers didn't go down so well with Crows fans. The Power were in sync, while Buddy had a day out to celebrate his 200.
And he's kicked 9!
Just a shame Dad missed the 9th with a poorly timed run for refreshments.
Round 21, Melbourne v GWS. GWS D Shield 1 vote. GWS R Palmer 2 votes. GWS D Smith 3 votes. Western Bulldogs v North Melbourne. North Melbourne S Thompson 1 vote. North Melbourne S Gibson 2 votes. North Melbourne A Swallow 3 votes. Collingwood v Brisbane. Brisbane P Hanley 1 vote. Brisbane T Rockcliffe 2 votes. Brisbane D Zorko 3 votes. Gold Coast v Port Adelaide. Gold Coast H Bennell 1 vote. Port Adelaide H Hartlett 2 votes. Port Adelaide M Lobe 3 votes. Carlton v Geelong. Geelong H Taylor 1 vote. Geelong J Caddy 2 votes. Carlton B Gibbs 3 votes. Adelaide v Richmond. Richmond B Ellis 1 vote. Richmond T Cochin 2 votes. Richmond B Deledio 3 votes. Fremantle v Hawthorn. Fremantle S Hill 1 vote. Hawthorn J Lewis 2 votes. Fremantle D Mundy 3 votes. Essendon v West Coast Eagles. Essendon M Hibbard 1 vote. West Coast S Hearn 2 votes. Essendon D Heppel 3 votes. Sydney v St Kilda. Sydney L Parker 1 vote. Sydney J McVeigh 2 votes. Sydney L Franklin 3 votes.
So Buddy with 20 for the 3rd time, but he's 4 back with 2 rounds to go. So Matt Priddis leads Gary Ablett by a couple. So let's have a look. Matty Priddis, Gary we know has got no more. Josh Kennedy doesn't play another game, and Paddy Dangerfield's lurking. So right now, with 2 rounds to go, Matt Priddis is in the driver's seat as we go to round number 22.
Two Brownlow fancies in Josh Kennedy and Dyson Heppel missed round 22 with injury, but Scott Pendlebury returned with a strong showing in the Pies win over the Giants, while Robbie Gray starred with 4 goals and 31 possessions. It was another Hawthorn-Geelong classic as the Hawks overhauled a 33-point third-term deficit.
23-point victors.
The Tigers made it 8 straight, with Cousin Jack bagging 6 goals.
Perfect. 6 goals to Jack.
While around the country, footy's sharpshooters
Look at that.
put on a clinic.
Oh, that is gold class.
Buddy was in an inventive mood, kicking 6.
We can do it all.
While it was vintage BJ,
It was like the grand final.
as the Bombers pulled out all their tricks
What's the heel?
to lock in a final spot.
Clip.
Oh, you're kidding.
Back to it.
Didn't break stride.
Round 22, GWS v Collingwood. Collingwood J Thomas 1 vote. GWS T Green 2 votes. Collingwood S Pendlebury 3 votes. Essendon v Gold Coast. Gold Coast D Prestia 1 vote. Essendon M Hurley 2 votes. Essendon B Goddard 3 votes. Hawthorn v Geelong. Hawthorn W Langford 1 vote. Geelong M Duncan 2 votes. Hawthorn J Lewis 3 votes. Brisbane v Fremantle. Fremantle S Hill 1 vote. Brisbane T Rockcliffe 2 votes. Fremantle D Mundy 3 votes. Richmond v St Kilda. Richmond A Miles 1 vote. Richmond B Deledio 2 votes. Richmond J Rewalt 3 votes. Melbourne v Adelaide. North Melbourne v Adelaide. North Melbourne A Swallow 1 vote. Adelaide S Thompson 2 votes. North Melbourne J Zeeble 3 votes. Western Bulldogs v Sydney. Sydney N Malcheski 1 vote. Sydney L Franklin 2 votes. Sydney L Parker 3 votes. West Coast v Melbourne. West Coast A. Gaff, 1 vote. West Coast C. Maston, 2 votes. West Coast M. Lacroix, 3 votes. Port Adelaide v Carlton. Port Adelaide H. Hartlett, 1 vote. Port Adelaide T. Boat, 2 votes. Port Adelaide R. Gray, 3 votes.
Gil, I've got to say you are a tease. Well, a remarkable situation. I've got to say one thing, Buddy Franklin's got the most votes ever by a Coleman medalist, so that's one thing, but we know that he didn't play in the last round, so if you do your sums here, you know that really, and Gary, we know where he's at, so it's really down to Matt Priddis. Can he win the Brownlow medal? He's leading at the moment. Travis Boak and Patrick Dangerfield, the 2 blokes from Port Adelaide and Adelaide respectively. That's where the chances lie in the 2014 Brownlow. We'll be back with the concluding round 23 right after this. So just 1 round remaining in the 2014 Brownlow medal. And Matt Priddis, as I look at you now, you have won the 2014 Brownlow medal. You may be sharing it, but you can't lose it at this stage. Congratulations. We'll be talking to you shortly. What a great achievement. But there are 2 young men in the room that might tie. Let's go over to the danger. Paddy, you had a big win against St Kilda in the last round. You had 26 disposals. You kicked a goal. Can you get 3 votes, Patrick?
I hate Sloaney. He's had 30 and kicked 3, so what a prick of a thing. Selfish.
Can you make it a tie?
I wouldn't have thought Matty's... I think he's got it in the bag.
OK, Pat, see what sort of a judge you are. You had another remarkable night, 3 times 20 votes or more in the Brownlow. Let's go to Travis Boak. Trav, you went over to Perth and you had Crowley sitting on you for the day. Could you squeak out 3 or not?
No, I don't think so. I think Robbie had a absolute blind of that game, so I think he'll get the 3.
Well, you've had a great night so far, but it does look like you might both be pushing up the hill. We're about to find out. We're going to round 23.
The final home and away round climaxed with 5 teams fighting for a final spot. While from a Brownlow viewpoint, there was some impressive individual performances, as Jordan Lewis, Robbie Gray and Joel Selwood all racked up big numbers. It was so close, yet so far for the Blues.
It hasn't got the distance.
As the season had its first draw. While it took a last-minute goal to separate the Dogs and Giants.
What a win by the Giants.
Right around the country, the retiring class of 2014 were honoured.
A remarkable finish.
Ben Rutten making the most of his last kick in footy.
What about this for a fairy tale finish?
And it was a fairy tale 250th for our veteran Chris Newman.
He'll never forget it.
As a 3-point win over the minor premiers,
9 in a row.
secured a final spot for my Tigers.
Cancel your holiday plans for September, Tiger fans.
Round 23. Essendon v Carlton. Essendon P. Ryder, 1 vote. Carlton B. McLean, 2 votes. Carlton C. Judd, 3 votes. Collingwood v Hawthorn. Hawthorn J. Gunston, 1 vote. Hawthorn J. Gibson, 2 votes. Hawthorn J. Lewis, 3 votes. North Melbourne v Melbourne. North Melbourne B. Brown, 1 vote. North Melbourne A. Swallow, 2 votes. Melbourne D. Tyson, 3 votes. Western Bulldogs v GWS. GWS T. Green, 1 vote. GWS W. Hoskin Elliott, 2 votes. Western Bulldogs R. Griffin, 3 votes. Sydney v Richmond. Sydney D. Hanbury, 1 vote. Richmond A. Rance, 2 votes. Richmond B. Deledio, 3 votes. Geelong v Brisbane. Geelong T. Hawkins, 1 vote. Geelong J. Selwood, 2 votes. Geelong M. Duncan, 3 votes. Fremantle v Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide J. Schultz, 1 vote. Port Adelaide R. Gray, 2 votes. Fremantle L. Neal, 3 votes. Adelaide v St Kilda. St Kilda, J Stephen, 1 vote. Adelaide, E Betts, 2 votes. Adelaide, R Sloan, 3 votes. Gold Coast v West Coast Eagles. West Coast Eagles, S Lysette, 1 vote. West Coast Eagles, M Priddis, 2 votes. West Coast Eagles, J Kennedy, 3 votes. I declare the 2014 Brownlow Medal winner, Matt Priddis of the West Coast Eagles.
It's my pleasure now to invite to the stage the 2013 Brownlow medalist to present this year's medal, Gary Ablett for Matty Priddis. Gary. And now to propose a toast, it's a pleasure to welcome the Chairman of the AFL Commission, Mr Mike Fitzpatrick. Mike.
Matt Priddis is West Coast's first Brownlow medalist since Ben Cousins in 2005. He's the 3rd player in the club's history to win this award. Matt led the competition during the home and away season for total disposals, 627 touches across 22 games, the most of any player in the competition this year. Matt thrives on hard work. He recorded the 2nd most clearances out of any player in the game and the 3rd most tackles in the competition this year, to go with his ability to get hold of the football. He came into our game as a rookie draft selection in 2006, and he's been a remarkably durable player with 173 games to his name since becoming a regular season player in 2007. He won West Coast's Best and Fairest Award last year and is a strong favourite to win again this year. Matt was initially overlooked for AFL football, but won a Sandover medal with Subiaco in 2006 in the WAFL, and his career progress is testimony to his determination to improve himself. So congratulations, Matt. Thank you. I now ask you all to charge your glasses, be upstanding, and toast the 2014 Brownlow medalist, Matt Priddis.
Mike, thank you. Thank you very much. Matt, would you like to come and join us? It was an enormous reaction in the room. It must be overwhelming on a night like tonight.
It absolutely is. It's obviously a huge honour and something I'm very proud of.
Matt, when you came here tonight, I know I asked you a few minutes ago how nervous you were. We did have a conversation about a week and a half ago and you said, look, it'll be an absolute shocker. Did you come here with any thoughts that you might take it off tonight?
No, I didn't think I'd be polling mid-20s. I had a consistent year, but yeah, like every other player here, you're unsure of how you're going to poll.
You polled actually in 13 rounds, which is quite remarkable. I think we're going to go back to Juddy in his heyday. So 13 rounds, 4 best on grounds. I mean, it's a remarkable effort.
Yeah, I just try to be as consistent as I can, and I've got a pretty simple role. Being an inside mid, you get to control your performances a little bit more than you know, your wingers and the half forwards, so I'm pretty lucky in that regard.
Now, Mike talked about the battle to get to the AFL club. I might talk about that in a moment, but when you arrived in Western Australia. I mean, it was royalty in the midfield. In fact, you joined Ben Cousins and also Chris Judd from that club as Brownlow medalists. I mean, you walked into a midfield that was AFL royalty, wasn't it?
Absolutely, and I looked at it as the best footy apprenticeship anyone could do. So Judd, Kerr, Cousins, and the list went on. But just to see how those guys went about their footy on and off the field, it was a great learning experience for me.
And in that time, I mean, I know there was a chance that you were going to go to Adelaide and play in the SANFL, and the Subiaco coach, a guy we know so well in football, Peter German, played a huge role in your development. Could you just take us through a little bit of that and what he did for you?
Yeah, obviously I was overlooked in 4 national drafts, and the Subiaco Footy Club with Peter German were just massive for my development. He always encouraged me to keep playing to my strengths, and that's what I've always tried to do. So I really can't thank Peter German and the Subiaco Footy Club enough for giving me the start.
You're great mates with Coxie. I mean, you'd just gone fishing, I think, with him last week at Dampier, hadn't you? I mean, can you just tell us what it's like to rove to a guy like Cox, and in more recent times to Nat Nui? They seemingly are very different players, but it must be a pretty good place to be.
Yeah, we've been blessed with some really good ruckmen, and obviously Coxie changed the game in regards to the ruckman. The way he could just run and carry and use the footy for a big man was just elite. So he's been a great role model for Nick Nat Nui and Scotty Lycett at our footy club.
And what's the difference to roving to Coxie and Nick Nat?
Yeah, they've both got their own strengths. Nick's CBD work is phenomenal with his leap, and Coxie's just his footy smarts around ball ups and his soft hands are fantastic.
Nat, who are the other players in the AFL that you really admire, that you like going head to head with?
Yeah, there's a number. There's so many great players. Gary Ablett's probably my favourite, the way he just keeps his feet in contests. Scotty Pendlebury's composure in traffic, and the courage of someone like a Joel Selwood. So those 3 guys really stand out.
And let's just go back a moment to when it was very difficult for you to break through to the AFL. I mean, did you feel like giving up at any stage?
I was never going to give up because it was an absolute childhood dream. I grew up like every young kid, kicking the footy down the park with my brother and my old man, and it was just always a childhood dream. So I was never going to give up. I just wanted to play at the highest possible level I could play at. And if that was going to be at Subi, then I'd be happy with that. But luckily, you know, West Coast helped me realise a childhood dream, and I can't thank, you know, the footy club, so John Worsfold, Trevor Nisbet and Trevor Woodhouse for getting me to the club at that stage. It was probably one of the happiest days of my life, and something that I'll always remember and be thankful for.
And your parents, Wayne and Sharon? Yeah, and I mean, you were surf lifesaving as well as a kid. I mean, what sort of contribution have they made to your development as an elite sports person?
Yeah, well, they've absolutely been huge. I wouldn't be standing here right now and be the person I am without their love and guidance. You know, just there when you're really struggling, and the way they could pick me up, particularly, you know, in the times when I wasn't being drafted. There's some strong memories where, you know, they really picked me up and got me going again, and you know, picking me up or getting me up at 5 o'clock in the morning, taking me to swimming training as a teenager. All those little things just really help you develop as a person, and I can't thank them enough. You're a father, and you and Ashley have got a second child on the way. So what about them tonight? Yeah, it's a shame she can't be here tonight. She's you know, suffering some pretty good morning sickness. She's 23 weeks pregnant. I've got a two-year-old daughter, Nala, and they bring me so much joy. I think my best 2 years of footy have been since you know, the birth of my first child, and just gives you great balance, and they bring me so much joy. So yeah, I've been with Ashley for 12 years, and she understands the demands of AFL footy, and I love her so much, and yeah, she's the best. I would be remiss if that's great stuff, mate. I haven't mentioned your coaches, John Worsfold, Adam Simpson, but one thing I have noted, the last 2 guys that won a Brownlow for West Coast played in a grand final the next year, so it might be a lovely omen for 2015. We finished off the year strongly, but yeah, we've got a lot of work to do. Matty, and I know you've thanked a few. Is there anything else you'd like to say tonight on this night of nights for you? Firstly, I would just like to congratulate the 2 sides who are playing this weekend, Hawthorn and Sydney, and wish them all the best. This is something that probably doesn't sit too well with me. I'm a pretty shy sort of guy, but I don't see myself as, you know, with the likes of some of the Brownlow medals of the past. So a little bit daunting, but something I'm obviously very proud of. As I touched on before, Woosha, Nizzy, Trevor Woodhouse for getting me in the footy club. Yeah, I don't really know what more to say, mate, but obviously my family have been absolutely super. So I mentioned Mum and Dad and my wife, but I would not be standing here with their love and support. They've just been absolutely amazing, so thank you very much.
Well done, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, our 2014 Brownlow medalist, Matt Priddis from the West Coast Footy Club. What a winner he's turned out to be. Well done, Matt. Congratulations once again. So there we have it. Matt Priddis, the winner of the 2014 Brownlow, the third Eagle to win the highest individual honour in the game. And we'll be back in just a moment and have a look exactly how your team has gone tonight with a complete wrap-up.
Grand Final Day is here, and it all starts with Weekend Sunrise at 7 a.m. Hamish and the Game Day team are live from 9 a.m, and at 11 a.m. we focus on the biggest match of the year with Das and the pre-game team. Then we're down to business. At 1 p.m, it's the Toyota AFL Grand Final, and the 2014 Premiership Cup is up for grabs. But it doesn't stop there. Superstars Ed Sheeran and Tom Jones headline the post-match concert. Grand Final Day, Saturday, exclusively live and free on 7.
Well, he's such a humble and modest man, isn't he? What a worthy winner. What a story. Couldn't get to a club for a long time, had faith, and has now won the greatest honour in the game. He sort of snuck on us a bit, but he was just so consistent all year. And he's made so many friends here tonight. And then the two-time champ to come out, somebody who Matt said that he admires so much. Gary led for so much of the night. So a terrific night, a third Eagle to win the Brownlow, with that football royalty to go with him with Juddy and also Ben Cousins. So Matt Priddis, a slight surprising winner of what was the most remarkable count in the 2014 Brownlow. Let's take a look at the final leaderboard, the top 20. So Matt Priddis by one vote over Nat Fyfe, who wasn't eligible tonight. It must have been a tough night for him in Western Australia. Gary Ablett, well, he gave it a great shot, didn't he? And Lance Franklin, more votes than any other Coleman medalist with 22. Travis Spoke lived up to his great form with 21. He's had a terrific year, the Port Adelaide captain, and a whole range on 21. I think Paddy Dangerfield's probably the surprise. Josh Kennedy, a personal best for him. Joel Selwood polled in 13 matches. Stevie J, can't he get a vote? And Trent Cotchin also, who's been a runner-up in the past with 18. As we keep going, Dane Beams and Scott Pendlebury steady. I thought Pendlebury may get a few more than that. Beams was good. Boomer Harvey started brightly. Jordan Lewis got 13 in the last 5 rounds. Tom Rockcliffe, always a good vote getter. Twice now the best and fairest at the Brisbane Lions. And then Callum Wood. Robbie Gray never really made a charge. He got votes in the last couple. Dyson Heppel a bit the same. Scotty Thompson, prolific vote getter, and Michael Barlow showed up in the early stages. But Matt Priddis, our winner. Over to you, Lingy. You've got a very excited coach, I reckon, with you right now.
I certainly have, Bruce. Adam Simpson, coach of the Brownlow Medal winner, Matty Priddis. How good was that?
Very, very exciting. It makes you question the All-Australian selection panel, which you might be on.
Now, you said you were going to ease into this interview and just have a little bit of a chat and then start picking on me, but yeah, you're right. I have to put my hand up there. Just a remarkably consistent year. He just keeps getting the footy, doesn't he, and keeps doing the job for the team and for you as the coach.
Oh, just reward for, you know, not just this year, but for multiple years he's performed at a really high level, and people probably don't understand over here how high he's regarded in the West, and really pleased for him.
And you were saying too, and we saw it up on stage when he accepted the medal, just such a humble guy too, almost embarrassed about the fact that he was leading the camp, but he shouldn't be, should he?
No, he shouldn't, and you know, he shouldn't be that humble that it gets to the point where he thinks he's embarrassed to be up there, because it's well deserved.
And his path that he took, as he mentioned, missing out on 4 drafts and then having to come through a different system, it gives hope to a lot of players, but also just a remarkable effort by him to stick at it.
Yeah, it is, and it's a really good reward for longevity. And you know, look, he doesn't play footy to win a Brownlow, but we're just so happy for him, and the whole club is so proud.
And just a quick one about Saturday, former Hawthorn assistant coach. Can the boys get the job done against the Swans?
Yeah, I'll back the Hawks in this week. I think I think they'll come through.
Good stuff, mate. Well, enjoy the rest of the night. I'm sure you might celebrate a bit with Matty. Great stuff. Back to you, Bruce.
Good on you, Lingy. Well done with Adam Simpson, the coach, in his first year at the West Coast Eagles. Let's take a look at all the teams now and see how your favourite player fared. Well, Paddy Dangerfield, again, as I said, 3 times now in the 20s. I reckon there's a Brownlow medal going to go around his neck one day. Scotty Thompson and Rory Sloane. So no surprises there. Tommy Rockcliffe won the best and fairest again. He had an amazing year last year with the Brownlow, so he was a clear leader over the Irishman, Pierce Hanley. So, again, no surprise. Bryce Gibbs, first time best and fairest at Carlton, but this was a subdued lot. Juddy didn't play very many matches. He goes to 209 career votes now. He's twice the winner. Dane Beams and Scott Pendlebury at the top. Scott Pendlebury's twice been in the top 5 before. Dane Beams has been in the top 10 before. And really, I guess Dane Swan was the first time in a long time that he hasn't been one of the favourites. The Bombers, well, Dyson Heppel on top there. I thought he might have got a few more, but it's a solid performance. Joe Watson, of course, injured, our Brownlow medalist from a couple of years ago. So from the Bombers, we go to Fremantle, and this was a big story. We know that Nat Fyfe, he missed 4 games through suspension, 2 by 2, and still got 25 votes. It's the most votes by 5 any Docker in history. Joel Selwood, what a vote getter he is. He's been a runner-up, he's been 4th, he was 5th tonight. He's been in the top 10 2 other times, so that's 5 top 10s. Stevie J again this year, just like last year, featuring in the top 10. Jimmy Bartell, a former winner. The Gold Coast Suns, they've got 200 votes in the history of the Gold Coast Suns, and Gary Ablett's got, I think, nearly half of them. It's quite remarkable, and he's now got 20 votes for the last 8 years. I mean, he's just blowing all the records out of the book. This was a story. Callum Ward looked a chance about 3/4 of the way through the vote. He is the captain, obviously, with the GWS Giants, along with Phil Davis, the first Giant to get more than 10 votes. Jordan Lewis came home with a rush. We expected that. Hodgie more than 10 again. Sam Mitchell, such a fantastic poll getter, missed so many games this year. Ruffy did pretty well as well. So from the Hawks, we wish those boys well, by the way, on the weekend. Well, Boomer Harvey, he's I think he's in the top 6 all time now in terms of votes received. So Ben Cunnington did very well. Nick Del Santo's been in the top 3 a couple of times. He had a really good year at North Melbourne in his first year. To the D's, Nathan Jones, a 3-time best and fairest at the club. Dom Tyson coming from the Giants, and Bernie Vince coming from Adelaide. So they're the 1, 2, 3s there, but Nathan Jones, the leader there. Well, Port Adelaide, Trevor spoke, so this is twice now he's been in the top 10. This is the most votes he's ever had. Robbie Gray, you feel like next year could be the big year for him, because everybody knows about him now, and they were the 1 and 2, so no surprise there. They also won the mark and the goal of the year. Trent Cotchin, well, he's a terrific poll getter. I think that's the 3rd time he's been in the top 10. Dustin Martin, no surprise that he catches the eye of the umpire, and Brett Delidio, a steady job there. The Saints, well, Nick Revolt, a 6-time best and fairest and a 5-time All-Australian. What a remarkable career. He led the votes. Lee Montagna, we're going to miss Lenny Hayes, aren't we? What a player he's been over the years. But the Saints, well, they'll be looking for better things next season. The Swans are a juggernaut. What about Lance Franklin? What an incredible first year he's having. Twice he got 20 votes with Hawthorn, 22 here, most ever by the Coleman medalist. Josh Kennedy, another fantastic effort. And then the depth of McGlynn, Parker, Hanbury, Jack McVeigh. It is quite frightening. They are a super team, but they come up against one on the weekend. And to the West Coast Eagles, there's our winner, Matt Prittis, with 26 votes. He polled in 13 games, 4 best, 5 second best, and 4 third best from Josh Kennedy and Luke Shuey. And finally, to the Western Bulldogs, who got their premiership in the VFL yesterday. Bit of a surprise here. I thought Tom Liberatore might be their number 1. Adam Cooney's been a previous winner, we know that. But it was Jack McRae on 10 votes. So that's the leaderboard. Matty Prittis now going into the press conference and having a chat. And he'll also be on Talking Footy. We're looking forward to that, and Talking Footy is not far away.
You and your mum got his phone number. How often do you text him?
Well, Mum's been texting him a lot.
I declare the 2014 Brownlow Medal winner, Matt Prittis of the West
What a great night, Lingy. You've just come down from the floor. You know Matt so well. I mean, you've played against him a lot, including in some of the biggest matches in the game, haven't you?
Yeah, fantastic. Well, what a great guy to win it. He's such a humble guy. He's such a terrific player, such a consistent player. And I tagged him in the 2011 preliminary final. At Geelong, we rated him extremely highly because he kick-started so much of the West Coast game. He just kept winning the ball, kept getting it out to his teammates, and you'd be all over him, and you still couldn't stop him. So, great result for Matty Prittis.
Absolutely. Great story. He turns 30 early next year. He's going to have the second bump. So, all of that. What a wonderful night for him and for the West Coast Eagles. Hey, I'm really looking forward to this week, Lingy. This is a sensational week, and it started so brilliantly tonight. So, Talking Footy on Friday night. The chosen few, that's going to be a great show with the coaches, isn't it?
Yeah, always love hearing from the coaches, and as you said, it's a big weekend coming up. Footy flashbacks. I always love the grand final marathon. A bit of reminiscing for me there.
No, I'm with you, Lingy. I'm with you, and I get to see you play again, and I love it. And then, of course, game day, we start with Hamish and the boys from Fed Square. I guess you're getting involved in a lot of this stuff as well, and then the pre-game show, and then the grand final itself, and then the post-game show. And Cam, I mean, you've been in all these big grand finals, but what a grand final we've got coming up. They're two heavyweights, eh?
Yeah, they certainly are. They've been the 1 and 2 teams all year for a reason. They've got a really high-quality midfield, great forwards. There's quality players everywhere in these two teams. Can't wait for this one. I reckon it'll be Sydney just, but maybe it's a bit early to do the